Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. We have some breaking news. Multiple MMA outlets are reporting that the UFC 269 main event has been verbally agreed upon. We are supposed to get Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier for the lightweight title as the main event for UFC 269 in December. And if you guys joined me for my live chat last week, I do a live chat every week if you guys want to join me in the future on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I went through every UFC champion, and if they had a fight, I told you what fight they had and when it was happening. And if they didn't have a fight, I told you who I thought they should fight next. And then at the end, after I went through every champion, I told you who I thought would be the main event for UFC 269. And what I landed on was Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier. It makes the most sense when you look at all the champions and who's available and who's not right now. And I'm just happy to see that it looks like I'm going to be correct on this one. I know it's only verbally agreed upon, but usually when they say that, it's just a formality. They got to send out the contracts and they got to be signed by each guy. But Charles Oliveira, you guys know I've been high on Charles Oliveira for a very long time. I picked him to beat Michael Chandler back in May at UFC 262. And going into that fight, a lot of people were questioning his heart. And he faced adversity in that fight, and he almost got stopped in the first round. And then he came out in the first 30 seconds of that second round and knocks Michael Chandler out. What a phenomenal performance. I told you guys that's the best two-round fight I've ever seen in my entire life. And really, it was only one round in 30 seconds. I don't remember the exact stoppage time in the second round, but it was only like 20, 30 seconds. And it was one of the greatest fights of the year so far. I mean, the momentum swings, the fact that Michael Chandler almost stopped him in the first round, then Charles Oliveira comes out in the second round and stops Chandler. It was just crazy. And I talked about it before that fight was booked that I didn't care who the UFC booked for the vacant lightweight title after Khabib Nurmagomedov retired. I just knew one half of the equation had to be Charles Oliveira. He's on a massive winning streak right now. His last three fights, he beat Kevin Lee, he beat Tony Ferguson, and then obviously he beat Michael Chandler for the vacant belt. Some people were questioning whether or not Michael Chandler deserved it. It was kind of iffy, but with timing and everything with the UFC, it kind of made sense. And Charles Oliveira won, so the right guy really has the belt now. He deserved that title shot. He was on a massive win streak. People were saying that Dustin Poirier versus Conor McGregor 3, which happened in July at UFC 264, should have been for the belt. Absolutely not. That was atrocious to even suggest. There were some, media members and YouTube personalities and former fighters suggesting that. And I just thought there's no way that should be the case. And Dustin Poirier is the right guy to be fighting for the belt right now. He's on a 3-fight win streak. He beat Dan Hooker in one of the greatest fights of that year. Then he goes on to starch Conor McGregor in the rematch January of this year. And then he beats Conor McGregor again in July at UFC 264. And there was no other guy that should have been fighting Charles Oliveira next. Some people were wondering, is Dustin Poirier going to take that Nate Diaz fight? Is Dustin Poirier going to wait for Conor McGregor's fourth fight? And I told you guys it wouldn't happen. And the reason I didn't think that would happen is because those fights are always there for Dustin Poirier. It doesn't matter if he loses to Charles Oliveira, the Conor McGregor fourth fight will be there. If he loses to Charles Oliveira, the Nate Diaz fight will always be there. It doesn't matter. This Charles Oliveira fight may not always be there, for the title, the undisputed title. Dustin Poirier was the interim champion. He beat Max Holloway back in 2019. He won the interim lightweight title. Then he went on to lose it to Khabib Nurmagomedov, who then only went on to defend it one time against Justin Gaethje. He dominated Justin Gaethje, submitted Justin Gaethje, and then retired from the sport. And that kind of left the lightweight division up in the air. And I'm going to give you my early prediction for this fight here in a minute. But the lightweight division is in such a great spot right now. You have Charles Oliveira versus Dustin Poirier for the lightweight title. You have Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler matched up. You have Islam Makhachev versus RDA matched up. There's so many great lightweight fights coming up. And, you also have Beneil Dariush wandering out there kind of looking for a fight right now. I think he's ranked number 3. And I think if Justin Gaethje beats Michael Chandler at UFC 268 in November, he will fight for the belt next against the winner of Oliveira versus Poirier. But what I love about Oliveira versus Poirier so much is they're so well-rounded, both guys. Oliveira, every time out, he looks better. He's improved. At one point, he was just known as a grappler, submission guy, jiu-jitsu guy, whatever you want to call it. And his striking is now so good. It's so technical. And it just, he makes guys want to shoot on him. And obviously, that ends up turning out in his favor because there's nobody quicker at snatching up submissions than Charles Oliveira. And then you have Dustin Poirier, who's so technical. His boxing is so good. He's so well-rounded. He's great leg kicks. He has good takedowns. He has good jiu-jitsu on the ground. He's super durable, and his gas tank is basically unlimited. But for my prediction for this fight, I think Charles Oliveira wins this fight. I just think that he's the better striker. I think he'll outstrike Dustin Poirier. I believe if Dustin Poirier, let's say he's getting outstruck and then he shoots on a takedown, I think he'll get submitted. Charles Oliveira is so good. Dustin Poirier is good on the ground, but Charles Oliveira is next level. The only way I foresee Dustin Poirier winning this fight is drawing it out to the later rounds. Charles Oliveira has never gone 5 rounds. So if Dustin Poirier can kind of drag him out to deep water, Charles Oliveira starts to get tired, starts to fade. I think Dustin Poirier could finish him in the 4th or 5th round. And it's just such a close fight. Even though I'm picking Charles Oliveira, I'm not like crazy confident on it. Right now, I would say I'm 70% leaning Oliveira, 30% leaning Poirier. It's just a great fight, and it's a fight for all the fans. I mean, there's not one fan that's going to be complaining about this fight. It was the fight to make. They match up so well. They're both well-rounded. They're the two best lightweights right now who are active in MMA and within the UFC. And there's so many great fights that can, materialize after this fight. Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira would be amazing. Justin Gaethje versus Dustin Poirier 2 would be absolutely amazing. So let me know, who do you guys think is going to win, Oliveira or Poirier? Make sure to like the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.